You've seen them everywhere, right? On the street, popping up in your inbox, shared by a friend on social media. Petitions for causes that really matter. Causes of what they call transcendental importance. You're all set to add your name, to make your voice heard. But then, you hit a snag. A little box on the form demanding your passport number. All of a sudden, a simple act of support feels kind of risky. Is this normal? Do you really have to give that up? Well, today, we're going to get to the bottom of it.
It's a real dilemma, isn't it? On one side, you have this cause you're passionate about, but on the other, you have this gut feeling, this instinct to protect your personal data. And we're not talking about just any data. We're talking about your passport number. That's a golden key to your identity, to your ability to travel. It's a big deal.
So, what's the move? Do you risk your privacy to stand up for your principles, or do you just walk away, maybe feeling a little guilty, like you've let the cause down? I mean, in this day and age, with data breaches and identity theft all over the news, it's a question we all need a solid answer to, and that's exactly what we're going to figure out right now.
Okay, let's not beat around the bush. Let's just cut straight to the chase. You're standing there, pen in hand or cursor blinking, ready to support a huge public cause. Do you legally have to hand over your passport number? Let's get the definitive answer.
And the answer is a big, clear no. For the vast majority of us, the everyday citizens who are just trying to show our support, there is absolutely no legal requirement to provide a passport number. So that begs the question, right? Why on earth are some petitions asking for it? And what's the real story behind this whole confusing situation?
All right, the reason this gets so confusing all boils down to a really simple but super important distinction. You see, when it comes to these big, high-stakes petitions, there are actually two very different roles a person can play, and each of those roles has its own set of rules.
This slide breaks it down perfectly. Over on one side, you've got the lead petitioner. Think of them as the official face of the whole operation, the captain of the ship. They're an actual party to the legal case, so they have to follow a bunch of strict legal rules. But on the other side, you've got the mass signatory. Hey, that's you. That's me. That's everyone else who's lending their voice. Our job is just to show the court that this issue has massive public interest.
So why are the rules so tough for that lead petitioner? It all comes down to one fancy legal word, verification. All this means is that they have to sign a formal, sworn statement in front of a notary public. And that notary's job is to legally confirm their identity, usually with a government-issued ID, before they can stamp that document.
And look, this isn't just some suggestion. It is a legal mandate written right into the rules of court. It's very clear. The petition must be verified. This is exactly why their government ID, like a passport, is needed for the notary's official records. But notice who this rule applies to. It's the lead petitioners and only the lead petitioners.
So we've got the what and the why for the lead petitioners. Now let's take a look at how the Supreme Court itself sees this whole thing. Because there are specific legal ideas or doctrines that really back up this separation between the main players and the general public.
It's called the citizen suit doctrine. The easiest way to think about it is like a giant class action lawsuit for the entire nation. The court's main concern is making sure the people leading the charge, the lead petitioners, are legit. As for the rest of us, the court just needs to see that we have a real, substantial interest in the outcome. And you know what? Our full name, our address, and maybe our voter status, that's usually more than enough to prove it. This table just lays it all out, plain and simple. Look at that top row. For a lead petitioner, yes, a passport number might be needed for that notarization step. But for a mass signatory, like you, it's a hard no. And look at that risk level, high. A much safer and just as effective alternative is your voter's ID or precinct number. That proves you're a qualified citizen without putting your most sensitive data out there.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, but what about online petitions? Everything's digital now. That's a great question. And the answer is, it doesn't change a thing. Even with the new rules coming up for electronic notarization, the law is still focused on the person who is legally on the hook for the document, the lead petitioner. It does not apply to the thousands or even millions of us who are just clicking to show our support online.
Okay, so now you know your rights. But knowledge is only half the battle, right? How do you actually use this information? How do you make sure your voice is heard without putting your personal security on the line? Here's a super simple checklist to help you navigate this with total confidence.
First, and this is the big one, protect your sensitive data. Your passport number should never, ever be typed into a public Google form or handed over to a volunteer with a clipboard. Second, offer a better, safer alternative. Your voter's precinct number is perfect. It shows you're a citizen who can vote on these issues without the high risk. And finally, be a savvy signer. If you can, take a peek at the document.
If your name isn't on that official verification page, the one a lawyer has to stamp, then you are under no legal obligation to provide a government ID number. Period.
So, the takeaway here is pretty simple. Knowledge is power. The next time you're asked to sign a petition, you're not just another name on a list. You're an informed, empowered citizen. You know your rights, you know the risks, and you know exactly how to make your voice count, safely and effectively. So go out there and change the world one secure signature at a time.